Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Joseph Ward, and welcome to my On the Shoulders of Giants YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you share this channel. And that notification button, click that notification button so every time I drop a new video, you will know what's going on. African history at your fingertips through this channel. You're getting biographies of your sung and unsung heroes right at your fingertips. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about On the Shoulders of Giants, where you can learn about yourself and we tell our own stories. Peace out. Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you for joining me for another video right here on this On the Shoulders of Giants YouTube channel right here with your homeboy Joseph Ward. As you know, I give you my thoughts and we talk about different things, and I try to give you information to help you learn more about Black African history throughout the world, to help you learn more about our historians, our scholars, and kind of concepts and things and information that I've learned and accumulated over the years from our scholars, to kind of put it in today's terms and make it more relevant to what we're going through today, and also to kind of connect the pieces to help people understand that what we're going through today is not that much different from what our ancestors went through 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Yeah, things have changed, but things haven't really changed that much. So, you know, basically the type of things that we get into. I know it's been a while since I dropped a video like this with me giving information, but I had to take care of some things. I finished writing my third book, On the Shoulders of Giants, Volume 3, South America, and it's going to be out either mid-November or early December, so stay tuned for that. But I finished writing it. It's going through the editing process and everything, so that's going to be coming out real soon, so stay tuned for that. But today I'm talking about the difference between being popular, a leader, and being studied, like really having knowledge about what's going on around us. Now, put this in context. As you know, we're talking about the system of white supremacy. And we find ourselves going through the same cycles and the same loops over and over and over again. And in my opinion, from my evaluations, I feel like we go through these cycles over and over and over again is because a lot of the angles that we take, the routes that we take, or the people that we choose to follow, the people that we choose to deem as leaders, are not as studied on the subject of the system of white supremacy, racism, as I personally and other people who I've had conversations would like them to be, as far as us yielding better results from our actions. If the actions that we continue to take keep giving us the same results, then it's about time we change our tactics. But the problem is, in order to change your tactics, you have to have new information. And for the most part, if a person is not studied on what the system of white supremacy and racism is and how it affects us, then we're going to have a hard time really making change and getting to where we need to be, because we're still caught up in these same cycles over and over again, because you have people thinking that they're doing something new, or even trying to recreate actions from the past that didn't work. Marching, rallying, all those things, boycotting, all those things are aspects, are components that you can use in fighting white supremacy. But we seem to make it like those are the only things that we could use, right? Now, Neely Fuller Jr. said that if you don't understand the system of white supremacy, racism, everything else you learn will only seek to confuse you. Right? So that's a powerful statement, because everything else that you feel that you know about white supremacy and racism, because you're not studied, will only confuse you. And you'll keep spiraling down this rabbit hole of misinformation. and miseducation, right? And that's one of the issues that I can see that we're having in our community. We keep following people and ideas that are not necessarily truly suited for our liberation. These ideas or these people or these concepts are more so suited to further find a place of comfort within white supremacy rather than to help black people liberate themselves from the system of white supremacy and create their own. Example, what's going on now with black people in these nail shops, right? A black woman goes to the nail shop, something goes wrong, gets into altercation with the nail techs, and instead of that black people not spending money with these people no more, just like recently, a young lady went in and prayed with the people. Like that was really gonna change anything. She forgave them. You can forgive them all you want, but I don't have to give you my money no more. I don't have to give you my business no more. I don't have to go in and pray with you, right? I don't have to do all that to forgive you. But it's like actions like those, we keep allowing people to step on us. And that's a problem. Me personally, I'm not down with being stepped on by my enemies. Me personally, I'm not down with giving my enemies a second, third, fourth, or fifth chance. One thing that I keep learning from doing all these videos that I'm doing is there's a pattern. There's a distinct pattern between the behavior of the white supremacists and black people, especially black people who try to take a stand. Because when you're a black person and you try to take a stand, and you do take a stand, the object now of white supremacy is to get rid of you. But if you're a black person who is not necessarily challenging white supremacy, you may be walking that line, but you're not necessarily really challenging it, then you're allowed to keep doing what you're doing, because most likely the things that you're doing is not helping your community. And when your actions are not spurring your community to do for self, you're safe. If your actions are spurring your community to do for self, then you're an issue, and you're gonna necessarily be you basically gonna be the one who is being targeted to be taken out, because you the bad apple, you the radical, you the one who rallying everybody up, right? Making all the good Negroes feel a little more uppity, right? That's that's where it goes to, right? But that's why we got to be studied, though. That's why we got to be studied. We have to know our enemies. We have to understand our enemies. We have to understand how they get down and why they get down. Why the system of white supremacy works. See, when I was young, my parents taught me about racism. They taught me that racism exists. They didn't necessarily teach me what racism was and how it exists. Right? And why it exists. All we knew is racism existed. See, my thing I thought was white people don't like black people. That's why they did all the horrible things they did to black people. And I understand that it wasn't even like that. It wasn't even really that deep. It was about economic exploitation. It was all political, economic exploitation. They found a group of people that they can easily exploit, and they exploited them. That's what happened. They found a group of people who were not as armed as they were, and who did not have the animalistic and the terroristic mindsets that they had. Yes, fierce people, warrior people, but those Africans didn't have a thirst for blood like those Europeans did. Them Africans could kick your ass, but the Europeans were bloodthirsty, and they had superior weaponry. So they found a group of people that they could exploit, and they exploited the hell out of those people, and they still are exploiting our people to this day. The Arab slave trade is still going on. Just want to drop that on you real quick, though. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, let's be real. Racism and white supremacy exists. It's alive. It's well. It's always existed. It doesn't matter how many people try to convince us that it don't exist. Those people who trying to convince us that it don't exist, they can kiss my ass, because we all know it do exist, and we understand because our scholars have laid it out for us. Neely Fuller Jr., Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Umar Johnson, Amos Wilson, Chancellor Williams, Dr. John Henry Clark, Yusuf Ben Yakin, Anthony Browder, Ashra Kwesi. The list goes on and on and on and on, right? Many scholars have come, and we've learned about the system of white supremacy and racism and how it works. Now, if you have not done your research, then like Neely Fuller said, you are confused about what's really going on, because everything that you are learning is not really helping you understand the system of white supremacy. That's why so many people still be talking about, man, it don't exist. You have a generation of the people who really believe that music and sports really bring people together. If music and sports really bring people together, racism would have been over. Hell, Rick Rubin was a part of goddamn Def Jam. Like, white people have been a part of hip hop from the beginning, though, from the early days. White people have been a part of it, especially when it became a business. White people have been a part of it. What about sports? If racism, or if sports really brought people together, if it really brought people together, if it really did, then racism would have been over. At least if it wasn't over, we wouldn't have as many incidents, because especially with men, because so many men who play sports, played sports at one time. But so I mean, and I'm saying this because I'm tired of hearing, especially black people, talk about how music and sports are forces that are used to combat racism, and I just don't see it. I don't see how these mediums are used to combat racism. Then you may have some people who have the intentions on combating racism through these mediums, but if you are not properly studied, you as the one who are trying to get these young men to this point of understanding, if you're not studied yourself, you're gonna have an issue. And this information for these young men have to be reinforced at home. And if other messages are reinforcing things, if other messages are being reinforced by other influences, then we have an issue. Do they have the potential to be able to combat race relations? They have the potential. I'm not gonna lie, they have the potential. All mediums have the potential to be used as instruments of good. They all do. Let's just, come on, man, that's easy. Let's just put that on the table. We know that. But one of the things that we got to wrap our minds around is most of the people who are saying that sports and music bring people together, they had no real intentions of using these as mediums to bring people together. You just so happen to have people from different racial backgrounds on your team and your ad trying to win. And you got to find a way to get these people to at least pretend to like each other between these lines so you can win. Let's just be real. Racism ain't just that damn simple. White supremacy ain't just that damn simple that we can play a sport and it just stop. Racism isn't as simple as we just ignore it and it stop. I keep telling people, saying that racism can just go away if we ignore it. It's the same thing as saying rape would go away if we just ignore it. Now, if I say rape will go away if we just ignore it, that would be one of the dumbest things. That sounds stupid. That's just stupid to say rape will go away if you just ignore it. That's stupid, and everybody can recognize that that's stupid. But the problem is everybody can't recognize that when you say that racism will go away if we ignore it, that's stupid too. That's just as stupid. Because we're talking about not just a physical rape, but a psychological, a mental, or economic rape. Straight genocide. Like, genocide is a it's a symptom of white supremacy racism. So when we are, and I'm saying all this, right, because when we are choosing to follow people, if you are a follower, or in some cases, depending on what happens, and a leader is formed, and the overall purpose is to combat racism. I think one of the duties of the people who are on this mission to combat racism is to have a full understanding of what racism is. Racism is a system. It's a system. It's systemic, and it affects all areas of human activity. It dominates all areas of human activity of non-white people throughout the globe. It's a global phenomenon throughout the globe, right? It is about the maintenance of white supremacy. It is about trying to do their best to not become extinct, to not become genetically extinct, to stay alive, to stay in power. That white people are dying, having negative birth rates throughout the world, and they are trying to avoid genetic annihilation. And they're going down with a fight. They are going down with a fight. But one of the problems, we enjoy being a damn punching bag while they going down fighting. The way we use our institutions of higher learning. Oh man, think about if all the HBCUs from top to bottom were created to help black people liberate themselves from the hands of white supremacy. How much liver we could be. Like for example, I went to a African rights graduation that my homie invited me to, and I appreciate you, DK. I appreciate you for inviting me, man. I appreciate that. I enjoyed myself. So the African rights celebration was basically a rites of passage celebration for young men and young women. And in a nutshell, this African rights ceremony was the culmination of the Africanization of these young black kids' minds. Yes, you live in America, and you're in America, right? But you have an Africanized mind. So think about that. Imagine if we created systems where we can Africanize the minds of our youth in their teens before they go off to college, right? And then when they go off to college, their minds are further Africanized by the academic institutions that they enter while they gain specific skills and knowledge. Think about that. Think about how much further advanced we as black people would be in these societies. Think about how much better we would be able to help ourselves. But that comes back to understanding what white supremacy truly is, and understanding the need for us to Africanize the minds of our youth and our people. Our minds need to be. That's one of my new things I'm on now. Our minds have to be Africanized, and that, to me, that means us understanding, like I'm saying, understanding what white supremacy racism is, learning who we are, where we come from, and why we are important, and the contributions and what we bring to the table as a people on this earth. and us learning about our cultures and our traditions and loving them and being able to express ourselves through our true cultures and our true ways of living as African people. And even if you're a person who may not be able to learn exactly where you are, you can learn about the different aspects of the plethora of African cultures and feel comfortable and feel empowered when you express these things. So powerful. So powerful. Like the country people say, they're so powerful. They're so powerful. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like us as black people, man, we got so much potential to be so great. We are amazing, outstanding people, but we got to believe it. I talked about us raising our collective and our individual self-esteem now, and our self-image and our self-worth. Raising it. But we have to be studied. Have to spend more time making sure that we're studied and have studied, organized, and have our tactics together before we want to jump out there and try to save the community. Because sometimes we can have good intentions, but we can do more harm than good. Sometimes we can keep our people on that wheel going around and around and around, not getting true progress. Instead of having a lot of black people who are the first in specific white people's organizations, we can have black people who are just thriving in black organizations, and black people are winning. Whatever we are doing, we need to make sure it equates to black folk winning. Damn everything else equate to black folk winning. And just thought of something else. Another reason why the Africanization of the black mind here in America to me is so important is just a thought it will help eliminate a lot of the issues that we have with each other that we learned through slavery. It would take us back to a time to where we respect each other and we love each other just because. Now, also, with the new twist, us understanding that we as black people across the world, we have one common enemy, which is white supremacy, racism. And we have to operate as a unit, as a whole unit, because white supremacy is global and it operates as a unit. So we as black people who are liberating ourselves from white supremacy must understand that now we got to work as a unit. We've never saw ourselves as one people. And we don't even have to have a plan to see ourselves as one people for an extended amount of time. But all we need to really do is understand that we have one common enemy. And this one common enemy is the reason why we are being tortured and we're suffering, we're being terrorized across the world, is we fail to realize that across the world, black people are suffering at the hands of white supremacy in some form or another. So, we got one common enemy, and we got to work as a unit to defeat this enemy and to free ourselves. And that's how we get down. So, hey man, for more information about On the Shoulders of Giants, make sure y'all visit www.ontheshoulders1.com. Like I said, On the Shoulders of Giants Volume 3, South America's coming soon. I love y'all. I appreciate the support. Hey man, hey, the subscriber change these last month. I love y'all. Straight up. I love all y'all. Appreciate it. Straight up. I know I sound country in the mud right now, but appreciate it. I really thank y'all for that. Like, I don't even thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. I'm just sitting there looking at the numbers and I'm like, I'm in disbelief. And I'm like, man, it feel good. I ain't gonna lie, it feel good because I've been at this for a minute. I've been cranking out videos for a minute. And it feels good to know that people appreciate the information. So I'm gonna do my best to keep it up and keep it popping. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all, and I catch y'all again later.